situation is a very special one, and I want to be very clear about the focus from the beginning. This interview centers around William Bill LeSane, his life experiences, his choices, his journey. Many people know Billy through his family connection to Tupac Shakur, but today is not about speculation, rumors, or myths. Tupac's story provides context, but Billy's story stands on its own. Billy has lived a life shaped by family, pressure, responsibility, survival, and that's what we're here to talk about. So Billy, thank you for trusting this space and for being here with me today.
No, Katrina, thank you. And I love the way you introduced me, because everything you just said in that introduction is basically the life that I lived. You know, family responsibility, my own journey, trials and tribulations, ups and downs. My life has been a roller coaster, even up to today. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. You deserve it. And you know, sometimes we look at the people that everybody knows about, but we forget about those people who are that support system, those wings that's carrying these people, the people who's really the glue, that's a part of the whole bigger picture, right? You're one of those people.
Well, thank you.
And I think you deserve, sometimes I sit back and I think about how great you and your mom and your sister Moo have, or Jamala, has been a part of carrying Tupac's story. But then my question is, what's your story?
Wow. So I'm going to sum it up. I'm going to sum it up in the title of my book. I'm writing a book, and my story is going to be summed up in these words. The book is called Scumbag. Memoirs of a Lawless Prick.
Wow.
So when you think about that title, think about my journey. Because that was what my journey was. I was a scumbag. That's how I like to think of myself at that time. Whereas I spent the whole entire life victimizing people, dealing with mental illness, not knowing that I was suffering from mental illness, and drug addiction, and vice, and insanity. So when you think about all those not titles, but all those descriptions of me, that's what you get.
Wow.
That's what I was, man, for a long time in my life. I didn't know any better. You know, it was like a survival mode type of existence. Yeah. Whereas, you know, all I knew was to get up every morning and with the intention of going out to victimize people so that I can get high, buy clothes, get a haircut. Yeah, I did that for like 25 years of my life. Wow. Word. So, you know, so my journey started with that, you know, but if you want to go even further back, my journey actually started at a place called Woodcrest Avenue in the Bronx.
Woodcrest Avenue.
1240 Woodcrest Avenue.
Wow.
Yeah. I was the oldest of my family. My mom did the best she could to raise us after my father left when I was 8 years old. And my mom also, she had 5 children, me being the oldest, as I said. And my mom also had her sister, Afeni, and she was older than her sister. So pretty much my mom was responsible for not only her children, but she was responsible for Afeni. And this is pre-Tupac, this is pre-sexual. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This is when Afeni was just being introduced to this revolutionary lifestyle. And, you know, she adapted to it so quickly and so well that she became a leader of the Black Panther Party. And I had a front row seat to all those events that occurred initially, yeah, like early, like, because also make no mistake about it, like Afeni and I were, well, I was Afeni's first nephew, let's put it that way, right?
Before she had children.
Before she had children, right? So you know how aunties are with their first nephew or nieces, right?
Yeah, my nephew had 5 aunties. My mom had 6 daughters, and we were all in the house spoiling him like crazy. So yes, I know.
You know exactly what that looks like.
He was the first one.
So that's what Afeni was to me.
Yeah.
So to give you an idea of what I'm saying, when I was a newborn, Afeni snuck in my mother's bedroom and stole me out of my crib without my mother knowing or my father at the time. she was like 17 or 18.
These are the stories you never hear.
Yeah, she
stole you.
She was like 17 or 18 years old, so she was young, right? And she went into my mother's bedroom and stole me out of my crib and took me all the way to New Jersey to my grandmother's house without my mother knowing.
Different state.
Yeah, different state. She
No way.
What is that? That's a charge, right? Like that's like kidnap, transporting
across state lines.
Yeah, human trafficking.
What your mother do?
My mother didn't find out till the next day, but she was worried. Like she was scared to death. She was worried because I was missing. But when she found out that I was safe at my grandmother's house, she calmed down a little bit. But
that's pretty hilarious.
There were stories like that drew the strong connection between myself and Afeni.
Yeah.
She when I was 8 years old, I used to get bullied by this guy named Junebug in my neighborhood.
Junebug.
Yeah, he was from Detroit, and he looked like a Junebug. He was ugly. He used to have snot running down his nose, like that dried up snot. He was chubby. He was bully. He was a bully. He looked like a bully. Yeah, and he used to terrorize me.
Wow.
I remember I came in the house one day after getting beat by Junebug and Afeni. I came in the house crying, and Afeni saw me crying. She was like, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "So and so and so and so." She said,
"If you don't outside,
if you don't go outside and whoop that boy's ass, I'm gonna whoop your ass."
I have. Yeah, I got one of them stories.
You ever had that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Especially in the 60s, right? That's how our parents were, right?
This, for me, happened, well, it actually started in the 60s in Oakland with my cousin, but then it ended up in San Diego where we moved to, where I have a story very similar to that. Yes.
She made me go out there and whoop that bully's butt, and I did. I whooped it. I beat him up.
He left you alone.
Yeah, well, before all that happened, while I was beating him up, someone called the police, and they came to see what was going on.
They called the police for kids fighting?
Yeah.
Back then?
Yeah, someone called the police.
Really?
Yep.
They never called the police when we were growing up.
Yeah, and that was an anomaly by itself, right? Because that normally didn't happen in our neighborhood. But I don't know. The police came and.
Unless you beat the brakes off of them.
I did beat the brakes
off
of them. I did do that. But when the police came, Afeni, and she was barefooted. I remember this just like it was yesterday. She was out there on the concrete, barefoot. On the sidewalk while I was beating this boy up. And she told the police, "Don't touch him. You better not touch him. I told him to do this."
Yeah.
And they didn't touch him. And I never had problems out of that bully again. And after that bully, I had the courage to confront bullies all my life.
All your life.
All my life.
That's kind of.
I always confronted bullies, and a lot of times I didn't have to fight them, but I had the courage to at least speak up and stand up for myself.
You weren't afraid.
I wasn't afraid. Yeah.
Because you realized what your potential was if you made the effort to do something about it.
Well, yeah, because that was my first experience with dealing with fear, right? Yeah. And not to say that I didn't remain fearful for the rest of my life, because I did have challenges with fear. But dealing with bullies, it gave me the belief that I can, it empowered me, exactly. So.
And she knew that. That's why that's why my family did it to me. The same thing. I wasn't a fighter. I didn't like to fight. And when you have family members that make you fight, when you don't have it in you to do that, it's a scary territory when you're young. It's something you have to learn and overcome, and you did that. At that point, you were 8 years old?
8 years old.
8 years old. And then after that, when it came to bullies, the same thing happened. It took that fear out of me, and it made me stand up for myself. And I still do it to this day, and I don't have a problem with doing it.
That's so well said, because that's the same thing about how my life has transpired when it comes to bullies. And not to say that I always defeat my bullies,
right?
Because I still was
sometimes
catching
you take
ass
a little whooping here and there, but you're not afraid to fight.
I wasn't.
And do what you got to do.
I was known for it. At least he'll fight back. You know what I'm saying?
So, and a lot of times they just leave you alone because they know you'll fight them back.
And that segues into what I was going to say about how I would, from that point on, I had a lot of success
Mm-hmm.
making friends with the bullies,
Wow.
right? So throughout my life,
Yeah.
the bullies turned into killers and gangsters,
Wow.
right?
That's a whole taking it to a whole nother level.
Exactly. So,
Woo!
and this is weird, right? So the gangsters and killers that I was coming up with in the 70s and 80s
Yeah.
and 90s all had an affinity for me. Never had a problem with them, man. And they were the nicest people. By the way, they were so nice that I used to bring them to meet my mom. And my mom would tell you, like all the guys that were putting in work back in the day that I used to bring home to my mom, she would tell you right now they were the sweetest, nicest guys. You know what I'm saying? They knew my mom and Fanny loved weed, so they would bring a whole stash of weed.
To your mama, your
And my aunt, word is born. This is like the 70s, no, the 80s and 90s.
80s and 90s.
They would bring my mom weed and Fanny. They love weed, so they would make sure they got what they love. And I never had a problem with those kind of people, man.
But you know what that speaks to? It speaks to something that I think a lot. Because I have a lot of time by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And it speaks to the fact that, you know, you look at people that people label bad, and we love to dislike bad people, but it speaks to the fact that the realization that most everybody has both good and bad in them.
That's true.
And a lot of times people will label people bad or not worth dealing with, like what you're talking about. These people that were killers and bullies, and you bringing them over to the house and they're nice. Those same people will protect you. Those same people will have your back, like you said. They'll take care of you if you want something. And one of the reasons I know it's true is because my mom moved us to the hood in San Diego, and it was Crip territory. And prior to that, I never lived in a Crip neighborhood in San Diego, and it was called the hood. So then on the other side of town in Skyline in San Diego was the Pyrus, and then you had Lincoln Park and where my high school was and all that. I didn't get involved with gangs, but the gangsters in my neighborhood, my mother had 6 daughters, so when we moved over there, we were teenagers. I'm 14. I have 3 older sisters, 2 younger, and they were like, oh, a whole house full of girls, you know. These guys would walk us from the bus stop if we were walking home at night. They used to open the gates for us. They wouldn't let guys cuss in front of us. But their girls would want to fight us because they thought their boyfriends liked us. And I ended up having to fight gang girls or back them up off of me, like what you're talking about, the bullies, right? And at the end of the day, these guys were so nice. And people think all these, you know, Crips are bad. They were not bad. To me, they weren't. Because they used to take care of us. They used to literally take care of us.
Yeah, I had
and they respected us. If we weren't involved in that life and we were young ladies, they respected us. And that was the good that I saw in them. And so can't nobody tell me that, you know, just because these people are out here doing all these things, there's not good in them. There's a lot of good in them. But we got to find that and pull that out of them.
I agree with you. That's the same experience I had with these people that were in my life. You know, they were, so these people that I'm talking about, their reputations preceded them.
Yes,
you would
of
hear,
course.
You would, you know, you're friends with them, but you would hear from other people what they know about these people, the things that they've done, right? And you'll say to yourself, you ask yourself, wow, I don't never see that in that person.
Don't see it.
You know, when that person is around me, it's the kindest, the most approachable, relatable.
Respectful.
You know, relatable. Like it's a connection.
Yeah.
You know, it's like this connection that you have with this person that is far from what you're hearing about these people. So that has been my experience practically all my life, like even up to today.
Yeah.
You know, I'm able to mingle with people from all type of backgrounds. You know what I'm saying? Whether they from prison backgrounds, violent backgrounds, you know, drug backgrounds, or even people who have no experience, have never lived those kind of lifestyles.
Yeah.
I'm able to relate to them.
Yeah.
So that's one of my superpowers that I've been blessed with. you know, that's basically kept me alive, even though I've done everything I could to try to destroy my own life.
Mm.
It was that kind of connection that I had with people, which was the which was the impetus for them to start saving my life, because these people were able to come inside my life and offer me guidance and offer me advice and mentorship. You know what I'm saying? And that's all the way up to today. You know, so this is something that I've been blessed with.
Yes, you have, because God had a purpose for you already.
I believe that.
And he didn't want you going in the direction you were going, and so he put people in your life to guide you and move you into the path that he had for you.
Exactly right.
And so his purpose for you were greater than you knew. And so he already had that plan before he brought you into this world. And so here's the thing, you're here today, right? This is a perfect segue into the next thing. Like, you're here with me today because I asked you if you would do an interview with me for my Twitch channel, because I am trying to take the gifts I have within myself and make my own way, than trusting the system out here that I've worked so hard to be a part of, that they keep kicking you to the curb and you know, sending you on your way. And I'm like, Lord, what about what I have inside of me that you gave me that I could do for myself? And you know, a lot of people say, Katrina, you talk so much, you talk a lot, blah blah blah. And I used to tell one of my friends, one day I'm gonna have my own talk show and I'm gonna blow up and you're gonna wanna talk to me, you know, because it'll be on a different level. And I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna do what I do best. I'm gonna talk. And you allowed me to have this interview with you because I want to start doing my talk show, so to speak, podcast or whatever, however it turns out to be. But that's what I'm trying to build. And it's something I have inside of me that I know I can do. You've seen a lot of people who were considered unlikely to be rich or powerful. And you've seen young people who are rappers, who are maybe content creators, influencers, or whatever, who built their own way and made their own way, and they made something of themselves. In your own family, it has happened, right? Because of what they have inside of them. Speak to what you think about how these young people, and there's a lot of them doing it now, like your Kai Cenat, your I Show Speed. I love these guys, right?
I love them.
I'm 62 years old and I'm following these young people because they're doing something
They're
amazing
leading.
that we didn't know to do.
Right.
And we didn't have the same things available to us, right? But what I'm seeing them do is amazing. It's not even about how much money they're making amazing amounts of money, but it's not about that. It's just about how they're using what they got, who they are, to make their own way, and they're not dependent on nobody. They've done it for themselves. What do you have to say about these young people and how and people in general who are doing that?
Man, so thank you for that question, because it gives me an opportunity to give these guys their flowers, right?
Yes.
They don't know who I am,
They don't know,
right?
Yeah.
But I know who they are,
Yes.
right? And they are huge inspirations to me, man.
Yeah.
They are, to me, these young people. You mentioned Kai Cenat. I got
Love
plans.
that
I
kid.
got plans for that guy. I wrote a character in one of my scripts
Wow.
based on Kai
On
Cenat,
Kai.
and I can't wait till he reads it.
I love Kai.
I bet you he's gonna do it too,
I
because
hope
it's
he
so
does.
dope and it's so representative of what he is,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, but speaking on Kai Cenat, I Show Speed,
Yeah.
Charlemagne the God,
Charlemagne.
so
Yeah.
many of the DJ Envy, right?
Yeah.
So many of these young people today are much more equipped to lead than we were. I know when I was, when I was their age, I didn't have the wherewithal to be able to do what they did. Like, even if the opportunity was there for me to do it, I didn't have the wherewithal to take advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah.
I was so programmed to do what I was doing that when seeing that opportunity, I would have just disregarded it and not even, I would have been too afraid to even attempt to try to do something on that level, right? So when I look at these young people, I'm full of admiration for them, and I listen to them, man, and I respect what they're saying. I listen to them. Kai Cenat lately has been talking about dealing with his mental health,
He has.
right?
Yeah.
Imagine the foresight of a young man his age, aware of his own mental health, having that self-awareness to be able to identify that, you know, I may be I may be a victim of my own self if I don't check this, right? If I don't check this, if I listen to this chatter that goes on in my head, I may become a victim of myself.
Yeah.
And to be so young and to understand that that could be an issue for him.
Yes.
I love it, man. I love that he is so self-aware.
Yes.
I Show Speed is doing a tour of Africa.
Yeah.
And he's streaming everything that he's doing, and he's showing us.
I've been watching him every day.
Me too. He's showing us adults like me. My age, I'm 62.
Yeah.
He's showing us what the world looks like.
How about that?
What black people are doing all over the world.
The amazing things that we never knew.
He's showing us how great we actually are, right?
Yes.
And who knew? Who knew? Who knew? There's these young guys called, they have this platform. It's a financial literacy platform. It's called Earn Your Leisure. It's Rashad Bilal. It's Ian Dunlap. And it's, what's my other, Troy. It's Troy. I'm sorry. Troy, I'm sorry if I forgot your last name, Troy. But these three young men are in their 30s, maybe in their early 40s. And they're teaching financial literacy and making it accessible to people like me and you that would not have been accessible 10 years ago, right? So now we're learning how to invest. We're learning how to save. We're learning about stock. Man. We're learning about currency. We're learning about crypto because of these men.
Because of them.
And they're young.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So think about that.
Yeah.
When
they're teaching it.
Yeah, they're teaching it. So you contrast that to where we came from and see the wide difference of how education now is being disseminated for black people.
Yes.
It's not just accessible to white people. It's not just accessible to rich people. It's accessible to us so that we can teach it to other people, but also benefit from it. So you with your platform now have an opportunity to have your voice. Your voice is the only voice like yours in the entire universe. You know what I'm saying? There's nobody else with your voice, your experiences, same with me. So why not use these platforms that we have, use this access that we have now to spread messages and spread about yourself and so that other people can gravitate towards it and not make the same mistakes that you made or learn how to navigate life better than you did, you know? So,
Bill, you know, if I had to do life all over again, it would be so different than what I actually did. If I knew then what I know now, which is a phrase my mother used to always say, if I knew then what I know now. Because there's so many things we didn't know, like you said. But at the same time, I wanted to say that, you know, we have so much in us. Like, each individual person, when you think of celebrities, for instance, when you think of celebrities, we watch them on TV, we see them in magazines, newspapers, and on all kinds of media platforms. And we think about, wow, I wish I was like that, or I wish I looked like that, or I wish I had what they had or could do what they do. But the reality is, and it's something Lauryn Hill said a long time ago when she walked away from the industry and she did her, what did they call it? They called it, there was a little show that they used to do,
Unplugged?
Unplugged. She did Unplugged. And she made a statement, and the statement was something down the line of, and I don't know if it was verbatim, but she said, everybody is their own standard. I don't have to live up to being like somebody because I'm my own standard.
That's right.
And I said, I love that. I love that she said that because I never thought of it that way. But we're all our own standard. That is why I'm talking to you. You are your own standard. And so the problem that I see is that some people get platforms and some people get pushed to the forefront while the others of us get left behind, and we are made to feel like we're less than or peons or whatever. But we're great. in our own right.
Mm-hmm.
Each and every one of us has a story that's interesting. That's why I want to know your story.
Yeah, I agree with you. Everything you just said. For me, it took a long time for me to get to this point in my life where I'm not afraid to share my story. I'm not afraid to be vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It took 57 years. It took 57 years, man.
62 for me.
Yeah, it took 57 years. I didn't come to this realization of my power, this inner power
Yes.
that I have, because my brain was so befogged with fear, anxiety, trauma, mental illness, drugs, alcohol. It was befogged, and I couldn't think past my own fear.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't get past it. And like I said, these young people are showing me in this day and age that, like you said, we all have our own superpower. We all have this individuality that people can relate to, because when you get right down to it, we're all the same.
Yes.
See, that's something that I had to reprogram my thinking about. The fact that we're not separate. We're all the same. You know, we all coexist as one. We're programmed to believe that we're not.
Yes.
We're programmed to believe that we're separate from each other, that we're different from each other, that our race makes us different, our economic situation makes us different, you know, our gender makes us different, you know. But deep down, I understood that the reality is that we're all the same.
We're all the same.
Now, once you understand that, that alleviates fear. For me, it did. This don't have to work for everyone else. But for me, that was my discovery. That, you know, I had to reprogram my thinking. I had to reprogram my behaviors, and realize that I'm a spiritual being living a human experience. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it took a long time for that to sink in. It took a long time. That's my whole life's journey. This journey that I was placed on, where I was programmed from birth to believe certain things that wasn't true. I was lied to all my entire life. I was programmed to believe that I was worthless.
And that's the part that at this point in my life frustrates me about ignorance.
Yeah.
Not because people want to be ignorant. You don't know what you don't know. And when you're trying to teach somebody something you don't know about, you could be leading them in the wrong direction.
Right.
Because you don't really know what the possibilities out there are. And that's why it's really great when there's people who lead their children or other people's children in a good direction and give them hope and give them the right information and tools to do great things and the impossible things. But when people don't know to do that, they only go by what they think and their limited level of knowledge. And then they go passing that on. And then we don't become as great as we can be because we were misled, right? There is something that I wanted to say to you about my experience with meeting you and your family. So, do you know how me and Peter came to be a part of you guys' extended family?
I don't quite remember how that happened, but I remember how you guys were a part of what we were doing and a part of our family, and how we became close. I don't remember what brought you to the center.
So what brought me to the center was I was a
Please tell the people what the center is.
So the center is the Tupac Shakur Center of Performing Arts. It was in Stone Mountain, Georgia, and the entire Tupac family and their entire extended family from New York and Atlanta and the Bay Area was a part of it, and people in the community, they would allow young people to volunteer, which is what my son Peter did when he was introduced to the center, and you guys welcomed us. So when we met you all, I was working as a small events coordinator for Cynthia McKinney, the Congresswoman,
right.
the Honorable
Cynthia McKinney.
Cynthia
That's
McKinney,
right.
Congresswoman.
Yeah.
And she had been put out of office in 2002 by Denise Majette and the other folk we ain't gonna mention. And we were trying to get her back into office. And so I was working for her campaign, and we used to go all over the place to talk to people about voting and that type of thing. So I was a voter registrar, and I followed her. I set up some of her events. Trey Maxey was her large event coordinator, and he worked for the center under Afeni Shakur, right? And he did a lot for Afeni as well. So he was working for both Afeni and Cynthia.
I remember.
Remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
Okay, so the way that I got to meet you guys is Cynthia said, we're going to the Tupac Center because they're opening. So that happened in 2004, because that was the year she was running for office, and she went back into Congress and made history with us. We made history with her. Yeah. And so when we came over there, she was with Afeni, and Shock G was there that day.
Shock G,
you remember
God
that?
Bless him. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Shock G.
God bless him.
And that's my homeboy from Oakland,
God
from
bless
Oaktown.
Shock G.
God bless Shock G. It was so great meeting Shock G. But so that's how I met you all initially. Peter was with me, a couple of his friends from high school. Peter was still in high school. He was about 15, somewhere in that ballpark. And he was like, I want to work here. And one of the first people I met was Moo and your mom, Gloria. And you all have been so, from that very day to this day, you all have been consistently welcoming, loving, informative, just embracing. Like, you guys brought me and Peter in, and y'all made us a part of y'all's family.
I appreciate that.
And we have never thought anything differently of you guys. And I wanted to say to you personally, I'm about to cry. You guys, for you guys to be on the level you were in terms of your popularity and fame, because you guys are famous, right? It wasn't just Tupac. His fame infected your whole family.
That's true.
And beyond. And so you all have been some of the nicest people I've ever met to this day as a family, not just no one person, but everybody. Just wonderful people. And you guys are the best storytellers ever. Like, you guys are storytellers. So that's a gift, right? Talking about gifts. That's a gift that you have it, your mom has it, your sister has it, your brother Kenny Black has it. You guys are the best storytellers. What's up with that? Talk about that. Let's talk about that.
Wow, man.
You guys tell the story. You guys are carrying the story of Tupac Shakur and your family and the history and the things we never knew or would never know if it wasn't coming from you. Your mother has told me some things. Your sister has told me some things. Seth has told me some things, and I'm like, what? That isn't written in books.
Yeah, everything you said, man, it just makes me think about those kind of qualities that you said about us. And by the way, thank you for saying all those things, and thank you for letting people know. But if you ask me, where did it come from? Where we are so relatable to people, and we are so accepting of people, and you know, we have
loving.
Yeah, we have this gift that, you know, we resonate with people, we connect with people no matter who they are, and people connect with us, right? I think that all started from the 60s. Because ever since I've been alive, I've been seeing that kind of energy with my family. Let me give you an example. When Afeni was in the Black Panther Party in the late 60s, our house used to be full of colorful people from all walks of life, right?
I could imagine.
White people, man, like white people, black people. Our house would be full of these people. And they were all very kind people. Even though they were into what they were into, they were all very kind people. They were humans,
Yeah.
right? And you know, they had this humility when it came to just being with other people, right?
Mhm.
And we picked up on that. My mom was always like that. She
Mhm.
was always a great communicator. So was Afeni,
Amazing.
a great communicator.
Yes.
You know, Afeni and my mom are different in characteristics based on the fact that my mom was a
Nurturer.
nurturer. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
She was a nurturer. And she had these kids, and she was always had this loving outreach, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Afeni, with the loving outreach, she had like my mother, but Afeni was more of a warrior. She had a warrior type of spirit,
Yeah.
you know. But it was complementary
Yes.
between her and my mother. They complemented each other.
One was hot, one was fire, and one was ice.
Yeah, exactly. And that's been my experience ever since I was 5 years old. Did you know that Fanny was my first school teacher?
No.
At 5 years old? Yeah, when I was 5 years old, 1968.
Cool,
1968, I was 5 years old on my way to my first year in
were
kindergarten.
you born in 63?
I was born in 63.
Me too.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What month are you?
August.
I'm June. So I'm like 2 months older than you.
Yeah, you 2 months
Wow.
older. So you're 62.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yep, I didn't know that either. But when I was 5 years old, on my way to my first day of school in kindergarten, New York City school system went on strike. Right? It's called the Ocean Hill Brownsville strike.
Right when you were starting kindergarten.
Right when I was starting.
Wow.
You can Google it. It's called
Ocean Hill Brownsville
strike.
strike.
And that strike was about Jewish teachers not being able to teach in public schools at the time, man. And the Jewish teachers at that time were great teachers.
Great teachers. There's very
very good
educational.
teachers in inner city neighborhoods.
Yeah.
It was the Jewish teachers that was the best advocates for our education. To be honest with you,
Wow.
That's been my experience.
Wow.
So anyway, when that strike occurred, schools was closed. But Afeni was like, nope, my nephew is going to school, even if I have to teach his class. And sure enough, man, that woman taught my kindergarten class.
Oh, she came to the school, not at home. It wasn't no home
no,
school.
it was at school.
She went to the school.
Yeah, because the teachers was at strike. The teachers was on strike, and the Black Panther Party was like, no, we're going to teach our children. They kept the school open so that Fanny can teach my class.
Unheard of.
It's the truth.
I know it's the truth, but
story.
it's just one of those things that how different times were, right?
Yeah, it's.
They wouldn't dare let you go into school and do that now.
Yeah, I mean, I share this a lot. Like Fanny.
I didn't know that. That's amazing.
Yeah, Fanny.
She taught the kids.
Yeah, she taught my kindergarten class. So.
Wow.
So.
Do you know about how long she did it?
I can't remember how long because the strike. I think the strike lasted for about 2 months or so.
Yeah.
I gotta look it up again. I gotta read about it again.
That's
Fanny
amazing.
mentioned it in her. I think she mentioned it in Evolution of a Revolutionary in her book.
That one, yeah.
Yeah, I think she mentioned that, but that's the truth. So, because my people was always of service to our community, we had these relationships with people from everywhere, and I'm a beneficiary of it. So naturally I grew up to have that same type of energy when I come around people, and people have that same type of energy when they come around us. So it starts all the way back in the 60s. Ever since I was 5 years old, I've been seeing consistently how people not gravitate towards us and how we gravitate towards people. Fanny taught us at a young age to love the people.
Love the people.
Love, it's all about the people. It's not about anybody else. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about the people.
It's about
and
the
that
people.
was ingrained, indoctrinated into us.
And I believe that because, and I agree, because everybody has to interrelate with everybody else, because everything that happens will impact us one way or the other at some point or another. And sometimes when things happen on a small level, we don't see it. But as we see things build over time, like what's going on now in our environment in the United States that's affecting the whole world, it shows that everything that you do will impact the next man in one form or another. And when people don't stand up for things, eventually it's going to come to their door.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening right now.
Aren't
right?
we seeing that right now?
Right now.
Right now, we're seeing that.
Because everybody is interacting with everybody else in some way, form, or fashion. And what we do will eventually come back to us.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And affect us in some kind of way. So how do you want to show up as a person in this world with how you treat people and what you will do? I have spent a lot of years volunteering with children and youth. I know your family has a love for children. Mm-hmm. You guys are protectors of children, and you guys love children, and you guys have done a lot to grow. I see some of the children in your that was in your family when I met you all that are now adults, just beautiful, very they're involved, they're doing things, but they've been given a good foundation. Mm-hmm. Because of your family and the love that they got. They always have a home to go to, and family and people. Mm-hmm. And that's a beautiful thing. Yeah. That's a very beautiful thing.
I like to think, like, the work that we did at the Tupac Shakur Center for the Arts in Stone Mountain from 2004 to, I think, 2009, maybe 2010.
I think it was a little longer.
Yeah, a little longer, right? Was, to me, our proudest achievement. Yeah. Because Afeni was very committed to going inside the neighborhood, right, and reaching out to families with children, and offering a safe space for those children to be able to come to, man.
And it was all about the kids.
It was all
Pac's kids.
Yo, Pac's. I'm very proud of what Afeni did.
Yeah.
Because that was Afeni's creation.
Yeah.
You know, she wanted to have, and she dumped she dumped a lot of money to build. She built it. She built this center with her own money, so that children in our community can come there and have a safe place. She provided programs for these children, man. Like, you know, summer programs, right? She had a peach garden where kids can.
I remember the peach garden
to learn. You know, where they can
grow
start
plants.
Yeah.
Learn how to nurture plants and vegetation.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was beautiful too.
Developing these coping skills,
yes.
right? That wasn't available to us when I was coming up. To be able to navigate life, man. This peace and serene place as part of the center where kids can go and just have peace of mind and plant and learn about botany and learn about nature and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Afeni was far ahead of her time with that concept, right? And for the duration of the time we stayed open, so many kids benefited from our program. Yeah. And when you see our kids today, most of them are doing well. They're well adjusted to life. They know how you know, they're working people. A lot of them graduated schools. A lot of them is doing, and we have a direct connection to that. Yeah. That's, to me, the biggest part of our family's legacy. Yes. That center, because the outreach was so critical at that time in the early 2000s. Yeah. That kids was able to have, and Afeni would bring the top talent to her center. She had Jasmine Guys, Mike S.
I've seen it with I talked to Mike
My
and
goodness,
Jasmine.
Man.
She's had Killer Mike.
She's
had what was the rapper's name? Was it Young G? Was it Young G? It was one of the young guys.
Well, it could have been either Rick Ross, because Rick Ross, I think
Rick came.
Yeah, he came.
Big Pun came, didn't he?
I don't remember Big Pun.
Was it Big Pun? What was his name? I know Peter could tell me.
Yeah, Peter.
Because I used to get them mixed up.
Yeah, he remembers all of them.
It was one of those guys, like one of those Big Pun guys. But I remember
I think Big Pun was dead.
Big Pun had died. It was somebody else related to him, or that he
I don't know
worked
if it was
with.
Fat Joe. I don't
Might
remember.
have been it was one of those guys. Mm-hmm. But T.I., because he did the video there. Keisha Cole came, Ashanti came. Yep. And because we were there, Gobi.
One came.
KR, I didn't see them.
What's his name?
Gobi was there. Gobi was there because he did the T.I. video with Ashanti.
Travis, what's the guy name?
Life.
Travis Scott came.
Travis Scott. Wow.
You know, so all
it was a lot.
So
it was a lot.
Yeah, yo, so
and then you guys did the award ceremony with Judge Maybelline. As a matter of fact, I got some pictures.
Yeah, Judge
You're gonna have to look at
you got pictures?
I do.
Yeah.
This is me and Peter being a part.
Yeah.
Look at that.
2007 Huff Awards, right?
Huff Awards,
yeah.
Right? Teddy Riley was there, right? Look at this.
Yeah. Oh man.
Pictures you never saw.
Look at my beautiful mother.
Your mother, your auntie.
Beautiful aunt with that big smile.
Peter got his picture with Afeni, so I don't have Trey.
And my mom. Look at Zigga.
That's me and your mom. Me and your sister.
Yeah.
That was the Huff Award.
That was the Huff. Look at Setua. It's beautiful.
Yes. Look at Peter when he was a little boy.
Peter was about 16, 17.
Yeah. He might have been 18.
Yeah.
That's what your mama.
Yeah. This Judge Maybelline. Wow. I don't know if I was at this event. I probably was.
This was at the Fox Theater.
At the Fox.
At the top in the Egyptian room, I think.
I think I was there.
I think you were there.
I think I was there.
Yeah, because I think this is the one where Teddy Riley. I think that's Teddy Riley there. That's Judge Maybelline's brother. That was when we went to her hotel afterwards and hung out. Kalila. And Trey.
Wow, man, this is bring back.
That's Maybelline's daughter.
Yeah. Wow, you.
Yeah, we were there.
Go back.
We go back.
Yeah, that was almost 20.
Yeah.
This guy. What's his name again?
You know, I remember his face, but I don't remember his name.
Oh. Yeah, I forgot his name, but he's a good guy. He was one of our videographers.
Yeah.
And he had kids that was his kids was
part of the
camp. Yeah.
So, you know, it's funny because I remember when Afeni signed this book, we were at the Pox Kids performance at the 14th Street Playhouse. And look at this, too. This is some stuff that I got from working with the Pox Kids. I kept all my stuff. Yeah, I kept this stuff.
Oh, wow.
So this is when you guys did the Pox Kids performances at the 14th Street Playhouse. And Peter, so Afeni gave the best hugs ever in the world.
Yeah, she always gave strong, firm hugs.
When she hugged you,
you felt
you knew
she
you
always
were
made
hugged.
you feel loved, man. Afeni always made us feel loved.
People don't know how to hug like that.
Afeni was a once in a.
She was amazing.
A one of a kind type of
person, human being. When she hugged me for the first time at the Pox Center when I first met her, and then again at the 14th Street Playhouse when she signed that book that day, I remember telling Peter, I ain't never been hugged like that before. Peter said, I know. Like, she hugged everybody like that. She took the time to just hold you and squeeze you. And you just felt this warmth come over you. It was crazy amazing.
God bless her, man.
God
that
bless
woman,
her soul.
Man, was so...
She was, oh my gosh.
God
I miss a hug. Like, people just don't hug you like that. And because it was genuine love of humanity. That's what I felt. Like, she had a genuine love for you, even when she didn't know you. But she would hug you like that.
Yeah.
The other thing is, Peter wanted me to ask you a question. So there's a picture that you're in with Tupac in Hawaii. What were you guys doing? This is Peter's question for you. What were you guys doing in Hawaii?
Tupac had a show. He had a show to do in Hawaii, and it was he wanted everyone to come there with him. The Outlaw, at the time it was called the Thoroughheads, I think. So he wanted us. He wanted them.
Who? The Outlaws were the Thoroughheads?
They was called the Thoroughheads.
They had a different name.
They had 3 different names.
Really?
First they was called First they was called Thoroughheads. Then they were called Dramacidal.
Never knew that.
Yeah, and then it became the
Dramacidal.
Dramacidal, yeah.
Wow.
So Tupac, he had a show to do out there. He wanted all of us to come. And of course he wanted me to come. He didn't want to pay for me to come though. So my other cousin Yusef bought my ticket. God bless you, Yusef. Shout out to Yusef. Yeah, he bought my ticket to fly to Hawaii. That was a 10-hour flight, 5 hours over water. We left from Atlanta. It was 5 hours over the Pacific.
Yep.
And we had a great time there.
Yeah.
And we was able to kick it with the people in Hawaii and the police officers, law enforcement.
Yeah.
We took a lot of pictures with them. They
That's
gave us the
cool.
red carpet. They
Yeah.
treated us really nice. It was
Yeah.
very expensive.
They're very aloha.
Yeah, and they're very expensive too out there.
Very.
Very expensive.
More
but,
than the mainland, yes.
you know, we was treated like royalty, man. The whole entire island treated us well. So that was one of my most memorable experiences
Yeah.
with Tupac. You know, going with him to Hawaii.
That's very cool to know. And so that was Peter's question. So Peter, there's your answer.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they were doing. So he did a concert?
Yeah, well, yeah, he did a show at a club.
Show at a club. Okay, okay.
He was very well received, and you know, we had fun, man. You know,
Do you remember what year that was?
I want to say 1991 or 1992.
Wow, early. Yeah.
1991 and 1992.
Question for you. This is a Katrina question. So you had a lot of responsibility to protect Pop. How did that come about? Like, was it because you were the oldest cousin? Was it because the family knew you could handle things? Like, how did that happen? What was that like for you?
It was all of the above. I was the oldest cousin. I was the most active out of all my family. I was active.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't into a lot of violence.
Mm-hmm.
I was into things, right? I was doing things. I can become violent, but I wasn't violent.
Mm-hmm.
I was fearless, not fearless, but I wasn't afraid to show up. You know, and that's because Afeni made me beat this bully up
when you was 8
years old. So, you know, and Tupac and I were always very close. He always looked up to me as his big cousin.
His big cousin.
Always, ever since he was a little boy.
Yeah.
And, you know, he always admired the fact that I was out in the
He
world.
was born in 70, so you were
He
like
was born
7
in
years
71.
old. 71.
Yeah, I was 7.5 years old.
Okay.
I'm almost 8 years
Almost
older.
8 years older than him.
So, I left the house. I left my mother's house when I was 14.
Really?
Yeah, I started getting in trouble when I was 14.
Wow.
So, and ever since I left the house, you know, Tupac was a mischievous kid. So he always used to want to come with me, where you know, to do whatever I was doing. Yeah, whatever, he always wanted to come, and I would never take him. So my mom, and when we got older, when Tupac became who he became, my mom and his mom took me in the kitchen one day in Tupac's house, away from everyone, and told me very privately that it's your responsibility to watch out for him. Mm-hmm. Don't let him carry any more guns, you know, and if something happens to him, don't come home. Both
your mother and his mother?
And his mother. They brought me into the kitchen in Tupac's house, and they privately told me, you're the oldest. Don't let nothing happen to him. Because he was catching cases. He was catching a lot of cases. Yeah. He was getting a lot of trouble. He was always in fights. Mm-hmm. You know, so my mom was like, and his mom was like, Billy, you're the oldest. Mm-hmm. You make sure that you protect him. If something happens to him, don't go home. Mm. And that stayed with me. That resonated. You can't come home. And that stayed with me. Right?
That's hard.
But I honestly, I failed under the pressure because both times, yeah, I did.
Really?
Yeah, I did. Especially when it counted the most. And what I mean by that was that when both times he got ambushed, when he got shot in New York, and when he got shot in California, in Vegas, I was in jail, so I wasn't able to be there.
It was beyond your control.
Yeah, but it was within my control because I was doing things that put me in a
situation
to go to jail instead of just being committed to watching his back. I was still often doing my own thing, and it kept me distracted. Whereas I wasn't there for him in New York when he got shot, and I wasn't there for him in Vegas.
That's a heavy responsibility.
Yeah, it was.
How did that make you feel? Like, to have that heavy responsibility on you?
I welcomed it when it was given to me.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't handle it because I kept, like I said, kept doing what I wanted to do, and it kept me distracted, and I ended up paying for it. So when he got shot, both times he got shot, I dealt with serious trauma and
Wow. Because you felt it was your fault in some kind of way.
serious trauma and serious depression,
Wow.
especially when he got killed. When he got killed, man, that almost killed
I'm
me.
so sorry that I never knew that.
It's the truth.
And never saw it, but I get it.
So when you met us, you met us in 2004.
Uh huh.
Tupac got killed in 1996.
Yes.
So from 1996 to 2002, all I did was drink.
Wow.
This is what I did. This was my daily routine. All I would do from the day Tupac got killed to 2002 was drink and play his music all day and cry. I would be overcome with emotion. I would listen to his songs and I would be overcome with emotion and I'd just bawl out crying. And I'd be drunk, man, like, you know.
You were hard on yourself.
Man, I didn't
How did you learn to come out of that?
I didn't come out of it to 2021.
That makes my heart sad.
Yeah, I mean,
it does.
Don't be sad now because I'm straight. And it was the journey that I needed to go through. But
wow.
It wasn't until, oh my goodness, man. I was killing myself. Yeah. Literally. I was killing myself.
Did the family try to help you come out of it?
Yeah, of course. They were very supportive of me. My mom, you know, my biggest supporter was my mother.
Of course.
And my wife. Yeah. You know, they were very supportive.
And by the way, your wife is absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
She looks like a little princess.
Yeah, she looks like a doll baby.
Yeah, she's so gorgeous and sweet. I met her, I think, once a long time ago, but she is so quiet. Like, I never really saw her a lot.
If it wasn't for my mother and my wife.
Thank God for them.
If it wasn't for my mother and my wife, man, like always being patient with me and dealing with my, you know. But I had to go through that. So in 2021, I tell a story. I'm very forthcoming about my story. 2021, I went into treatment. I was a Walking Dead person, you know, and I was just coming out of a grave, physically and metaphorically, because I had just buried my father in 2020, Islamically, which meant that as his oldest son, I had to go into the grave and receive his body. But at the same time, even at that point, I was mentally and physically and emotionally dead. So I was in the grave, literally. And then after I buried my father, 6 months from the time I buried my father and 6 months after that, I went deeper and deeper into that grave, metaphorically. I was a dead person.
You were just...
I OD'd twice off of fentanyl and heroin.
Really?
Yeah, I almost died twice off of fentanyl and heroin.
Back then?
Yeah. This is in 2021. This is less than 5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
I OD'd.
Well, I thank God you didn't die.
Yeah, I didn't. I was brought back to life by the emergency room. They shot me with Narcan.
Thank God.
Put Narcan,
Man.
and they brought me back to life. So it wasn't until my dad's birthday, ironically, my dad's birthday, March 30th, 2021, where I crawled into my brother's house. Coming out, I was on a 10-day binge, and I ended up at my brother's house, and I decided that it was a spiritual breakthrough that said to me, I need help, and I was willing. I was defeated, you know, and
I thought you were defeated.
No, I knew I was. I had to know. I knew that I was defeated, and the only way that I can become restored was to go into treatment. So I went into treatment, and I stayed in treatment for 7 months. I ended up in California, May 2021. May 2021, I ended up in California. I went into treatment March 30th. May, I ended up in California in this beach town called Dana Point. And
that's San Diego?
No, it's not far from San Diego.
It's not far from San Diego. I know about Dana Point.
It's 50 miles from San Diego.
Yeah.
It's 50 miles from San Diego.
Like Orange County area?
Orange County, exactly.
Yeah.
San Clemente, Dana
You know, I
Point.
grew up in San Diego, San Clemente, right before you get to like Anaheim.
Yeah, exactly.
Newport
about
Beach.
20 minutes from Anaheim. Yeah. So I was at Doheny Beach. I was near Doheny Beach. And I went to treatment. This is a very wealthy community,
Yeah.
full of middle-aged white men.
Yeah.
Right. So and I thought at the time they were all Trump supporters, right? But Katrina, the way those men treated me and nurtured me and embraced me,
Wow.
they saved my life.
Really?
Literally.
Do you
Yeah.
still stay in contact
Yeah,
with
of
some of
course
them
I do.
today?
Yeah. I go see them twice a year. I
That's
go to
good.
Dana Point twice a year.
That's good.
And my sponsor, the sponsor is a mentor, sort of like a mentor in Alcoholic Anonymous or Narcotic Anonymous.
Yeah.
The programs that I was involved with that saved my life, literally,
Mm.
is a mentor that walks you through the program. And my mentor, his name was Tony, older than me, diametrically different from me. He's Italian and he's old. He's 80. He's weather beaten. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But he was the perfect sponsor for me. And
Wow.
I swear to God, and I, like I said, I'm very forthcoming about my story. Because my story is not for everybody, but it's for people who suffered like I did.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why I'm forthcoming. He nursed me back to health. And
Man, I thank God for Tony.
yeah, man. I was with him well, not with him, but I was talking to him yesterday. I'm always in touch with them. And not just Tony, it was the whole community.
Yeah.
The whole recovery community in Dana Point, which is 95% middle-aged white men, embraced me and they took care of me, man. They really did, man. And
That's amazing.
yeah,
And I thank God for them for doing that for you.
yeah.
I didn't know you were struggling like that.
I was
And
struggling.
I'm so glad that
Yeah.
you are where you are today in your healing.
Yeah, I had to. It was hard work. I had to recognize that I was suffering from mental illness, mental disorder, along with addiction, and I had to go through therapies. I had to. I took on. I started practicing CBT therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy. I started practicing DPT therapy, dialectical behavioral therapy, and I started practicing EMDR, eye movement decentralization, rapid EMDR. So with those therapies in the program, Narcotic Anonymous and Alcoholic Anonymous, I was able to reprogram my thinking, along with great thinkers and educators like Dr. Tupac Shakur and Dr. Joe Dispenza. You know, I started tapping into these people and their message, and it helped reprogram my thinking to realize that all these years that I was in a state of mental illness, in a state of addiction, was all because of me. I learned to stop blaming everyone for my problems, and I accepted that I was the main reason for all my hardships in life, man. And I took accountability, and I began to change.
And so there, that goes full circle back to your book.
Scumbag, Memoirs
Which
of
is
a
what you
Lawless
start-
A Lawless Prick. Scumbag,
Wow.
Memoirs of a Lawless
And
Prick.
that's why you
Because
say you blame yourself and you take
I
responsibility.
take responsibility now, and I
Yeah.
accept it. I accept that
Wow.
my past is my
That's
past.
heavy.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
My past is my past, and I'm going to turn my past into something valuable for other people.
That's right.
Right? So
Your
I have
experiences.
my experience.
You're
exactly.
going to be able to take your story, your very interesting story, your very, man, it could be healing, so healing for so many other people, right?
Exactly.
Because there are a lot of people out there like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the difference with yours is you're in the public eye a lot.
Yeah.
And how do you think of yourself now, where you are now, and the things that you've done to bring information to us about Tupac, about your family, about the things that happened and the things that you're talking about? You were a part of the Dear Mama docuseries.
Mm-hmm.
You were a part of the Diddy Reckoning. I don't even think I have to tell you, but you did such a great job storytelling. You and Moo.
Mm-hmm.
And then whenever I saw you and Moo and your mom, and like, you guys give so much good information that you could visually put yourself in the picture. and like see it like it's a movie. Like you guys paint the picture well.
I appreciate
and you guys do that consistently.
I appreciate it.
And so I love to see you guys speak.
Thank you.
So where do you see yourself now, like as that person, that speaker, that storyteller, and do you see yourself doing more of that, and not just about Tupac, but just about yourself or about other things?
Yeah, thank you for that question. That's a good question because that gives me the opportunity to tell you that my whole life now is going to be dedicated to advocating for people who suffer like I did. Right? So even through my storytelling, even through my projects that I'm working on now, there's going to be a message in all of it, alongside the fact that I'm studying to become a licensed clinical social worker as we speak right now. And so I'm arming myself with this understanding of how to deal with mental illness and addiction clinically, so that not only can I bring my story and my personal experiences, my lived experiences to the table, but I can bring clinical analysis of how to deal with this issue of mental illness and addiction, the disease of the addiction.
From an expert perspective.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Just from your education, the academic side, but your experience coupled with that academics, what you could bring
scientifically and with lived experiences. Right? They call it evidence-based practice.
Yes.
So I take evidence-based practice and combine it with my lived experiences and help people, with their own issues. Right?
Will you have like an office? How will you be available for people to come to you and talk to you and help them get through their stuff?
Well, first off, let me say that my the field that I'm gonna go into is generational trauma. That's the particular area that I want to concentrate on, particularly among Black men and women.
Yes.
Generational trauma, because it's my belief that all, this the way that
I have it.
Right, all of us, most of us.
I promise you, I do.
Yeah, the way that we live our lives stems from this trauma that our ancestors dealt with, that has been scientifically discovered by various scientists.
Yeah.
That is generational. That is in our DNA from generation to generation. And I want to educate myself more on that aspect of mental health, because I know that that's what I suffered from. I suffered from generational trauma that took place long before I was born. So I want to really dive into that area of my practice, and but also through my, through what I do with my stories. That's why I have to be forthcoming and honest about who I am, so that no one is mistaken. So that people can, like I said, my story is not for everyone, but it's for people who suffer from the same things that I dealt with. And my story doesn't have to be for everyone. I don't want it to be for everyone. I want to reach those people who deal with the day-to-day trauma of living as a Black person in America.
How about that?
It's the truth.
That's a real PTSD thing.
Say that. It's the truth.
And it needs to be documented that not just PTSD for military, and I'm a veteran,
right,
but PTSD because of trauma we deal with because of our race and the things that we've had to endure because of our race, whether it's on the job, just in society, in our neighborhoods, in our communities, police brutality, whatever it has to do with. We suffer from it on a level that some people are starting to realize it, but it's deep.
It's so deep that it's become something that we adapted to.
I wanted to write a play about Black people and post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah.
Because it's a real thing with us.
It's so real to us.
For so many reasons.
It's so real to us that we adapted to it. Like most Black people, not just in America, but just the whole Black
the diaspora.
Diaspora. Thank you. Suffer from this trauma.
Yes.
It's so ingrained in our DNA and into our everyday thinking that we deal with it.
We just deal with it.
We just deal with it, right? The passive aggressiveness of racism,
Woo.
the white supremacy, this idea that white, everything white is supposed to be
Right.
indoctrinated into us to believe that they're superior, more superior than us, when in reality, we're just as great, if not greater. Than, and the fact that
they want us to assimilate. Like, why do I want to be you?
Exactly.
God made me. I don't want to be you.
Exactly.
And I don't want you to try to force that on
Exactly.
me. And I hear now a lot, they talk about assimilating
Exactly.
here in the United States. No,
Yeah.
and I won't.
That's the
I won't.
that what you just said is the insidiousness
Yeah.
of white supremacy, because it's this idea that we have to assimilate to this thinking that is basically offset. It's the only reason why it's offset is because of our ability to spread out this culture that we create, right? So the only thing that offsets this thinking of white supremacy is the fact that we're naturally, culturally excellent. So, and to give you an idea of what I mean, white supremacists take everything that we developed, everything that we created, everything that we built, and call it theirs.
You call it theirs.
They call it theirs.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Yes, that's the whole idea of white supremacy, right? Clashing with this excellence that black people have always brought to humanity. Black people are responsible for humanity's excellence.
We are.
All the way from
Ancient Egyptian history.
all the way, not even before that.
Way before.
Even before that. Like, so the whole history of humanity.
Humanity started with us.
Because of black people.
It started with us.
So think about this level of this insidiousness of white supremacy, right? That engulfs all of our contributions, right?
Our God-given talents.
Our
God-given gifts.
Right. To build this white supremacy structure that is now turned against us to make us believe that we're worthless.
How about that?
Yeah.
And you know what?
It's the truth.
You know what? There is something now. I know you're a believer. I think you're Muslim of the
I'm a
Muslim
Muslim.
faith.
Yeah, Islam.
So I'm not Islam, but I think we have a lot of the same beliefs
course
when
we
it comes
do.
to a whole lot of things. But so I'm not like against Islam at all, in no way, form, or fashion when it comes down to the basic things that we believe. But there is a commandment, and this is what I call what you were just describing. I categorize it into this one commandment. There is a commandment that says that we should not covet thy neighbor's house. Now, how do most people look at that? We think about, oh, you have something. You got on this sweatsuit. I want your sweatsuit. It's bigger than that. What they did by taking our gifts and our talents and our accomplishments and claimed it for themselves is coveting thy neighbor's house. Why? Because you're taking something that belongs to me, my culture, my people, my household, myself, and then you want it for yourself. That's coveting thy neighbor's house. That's a sin on a whole nother level. And we don't look at it that way because we don't really look at the 10 Commandments or talk about the 10 Commandments, which are basic commandments that God gave us in this world. They're like guidelines to know how to live with one another as people. And the 2 great commandments to love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and thy neighbor as thyself. And the other 10 commandments are encompassed in those 2 great commandments. Why? Because if we do these things, then we won't commit these moral crimes against one another, right? But every time that happens, that they take what we do and make it their own, and then ask us, oh, I'm gonna give you an example of what I'm talking about, and ask us, don't you want to be like me? No, I don't, because what you are is mine, right? If I watch a commercial, I'm gonna tell you something about me. If I watch a commercial, this is me personally. I'm not putting this on nobody else, but this is something that I came to grips with years ago. If I'm watching a commercial that says diamonds are a girl's best friend and somebody lavishly showing you all their diamonds off and telling you if you love this person you would buy them this ring or this necklace or whatever the case. I looked at that commercial and that commercial and that commercial about all these jewels, and then I thought about what happened in Sierra Leone. I thought about what happened in South Africa. I thought about what happened in Tanzania and in all of these other countries, like Liberia has all this gold and emeralds, and Egypt and that has, you know, ivory and diamonds and tanzanite. You know, tanzanite is one of the only. Hey Siri, put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I hope it doesn't interrupt my. Want to make sure that it doesn't interrupt my volume or whatever. I hope everybody can still hear. So I hope it just doesn't like stop the volume so that they can't hear. I think everything's good though. But whatever the case, that we can't, you know, we can't think that we should want what they have, because what they have is what God gave us naturally in the land that we're from originally, which is the continent of Africa and every country that dwells within it that we originally from. He gave that to us. Yeah. So when you go there and you take it and you murder people and you take their goods, which is what our government, our administration is trying to do now with Greenland and Ukraine and all these places. You want their resources. You're trying to take what God put on that land. This belonged to those people, and that made them rich. And they didn't abuse it. They didn't abuse what they had. They had it. You went there and took it when you discovered it was there. They did it here in America as well. And then what do? You take that, you send it off to Europe, you refine it, make it whatever you want it to be, and then you send it all over the world and say, don't you want what I have? And I say, no, because what you have is mine anyway.
Exactly.
So no, I don't go around wanting to be like that or feeling like I gotta have that, because I know what it took for you to get it, to sell it to me like it's yours, and I already know that's mine. That's right. Us.
Yeah.
So I don't go around, oh, I need a diamond, I need you to buy me this, or I want you to give me that, because somebody's blood. A lot of people got a lot of blood on their hands surrounding that, and I don't want to be one of those people promoting and thinking, because I'm not ignorant to where it came from and how you came about acquiring it, and now you're in my face asking me, don't I want to be like you? No, because you want to be like me.
That's exactly what it is.
That's all it is.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And it's centuries and centuries old, this idea.
Centuries and centuries.
That,
it's not new.
Yeah. So that's my mission, to broaden my understanding about this trauma that we all deal with, and be able to convey this idea to other people, and also for me to grow myself, right? Still growing and emotionally and spiritually, so that I can be in the right space to be able to do this. Because this is, not everyone is privileged to wake up out of a program. No, not everyone is privileged to reprogram their thinking.
That's true.
It is.
Absolutely.
Not everyone is privileged, and I was blessed, and I was privileged. I know it was nothing that I did. It wasn't. It was something powerful that I can hardly explain.
It's a spiritual awakening.
It's a spirit, exactly.
It's a spiritual awakening, because some people get the knowledge, the information, but in their spirit they don't receive it. Exactly. They don't believe it. They don't want it to be their truth.
You understand it very well. That's
because
exactly what
I've been through it.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And that's
I've done a lot of self-evaluation to see who I really want to be as a person in this world. And everybody don't gel with me.
Right.
And I don't gel with everybody.
Same. Yep.
Because I'm different, and I'm gonna tell it like it is. That when it comes to truth and reality, and I understand you when you say my life's an open book, because there's nothing about me in my life that I'm so ashamed of that I won't talk to somebody about
exactly.
it and tell you.
And that's what I had to look, because the shame of it all. So look, for me, shame is just as much of a killer.
Yes.
And so self-destructive as drugs, alcohol, mental health, mental illness. Shame. Because the shame would drive you into doing the same destructive behaviors that the shame created in the first place.
And then you end up putting on masks and
Exactly.
being something you're not.
Yeah.
And that's not me.
In complete denial.
Yeah.
That you have this mask on.
Yeah.
You become accustomed to the shame and you deal with it. So.
And I studied drama, so I've got a lot of college behind me, and I studied drama, like the ancient drama from like Greece and these places. And I remember when I first learned about what true hypocrisy was in Shakespearean plays and Tartuffe and all of these different Molière, all of these different live plays, like when you talk about King Lear and things like that. And I remember studying about these different plays and watching them and seeing how they behaved, and there was the word hypocrisy in there, and I always related the word hypocrisy with the Bible. And I was like, why is hypocrisy? And so my instructor, this is San Diego City College, multicultural college. I had this white instructor. He was so deep. This guy was so deep. And he taught how hypocrisy in theater was when an actor would put a mask on and be that character in those days, right? So they would put a mask on, no matter what that mask was, and they would behave as that thing. But when they took that mask off, they were somebody else, right? And they may depict that in the play, or it may just be just the physical putting on a mask, being that character, and then taking off the mask and being who they really were. Or it could be a part of what they were actually doing on stage. But it was considered hypocrisy because you put on a mask to depict one thing that you are, but then when you take that mask off, you're something else.
That's true, yeah.
And that's what I didn't want to be in life. Somebody who walked around wearing a mask looking like I'm like this, but I'm really that.
Yeah, but don't it takes us a long time for that to become real to us, that we accept who we are, you know, with our flaws, imperfections. We accept who we are. And then, even further than that, we start to realize that we have a value that we can offer to people that's only ours.
That's only ours.
We have this we have this offering that we can give to people individually, that we all are gifted with this. But it takes so long to realize that it takes self-awareness, like you said, but also self-correction.
Yeah.
You know, you have to work on yourself. It's a constant everyday process.
You work on it, and then you have to learn to really accept yourself and to be honest with yourself, and then to be bold enough and brave enough and audacious enough to go out and say, this is who I am.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like it or not.
Yeah, like it or not.
Yeah. Everything ain't perfect about me.
Yeah.
But this is it.
That's the solution to this bondage of self. I like to call it the bondage of self.
The bondage of self.
Yeah, this ego that we have that is so out of control that, you know, it dictates everything in our life, and there's no spiritual component in it. There's no spiritual component in being egotistical. No spiritual component. And when we abandon that spiritual component, we're in trouble.
We're in trouble.
But it takes us years to realize it.
A lot of times it takes us years. Some learn faster than others, but most of us, it takes us a long time.
Yeah, like me.
Especially, but you know what? When you were going through the hard stuff that you were going through, a lot of it was because of the things you didn't know that you hadn't yet learned.
Exactly.
And that's, that's unfortunate. But, somebody like me looking at that, I don't blame you like on that level. I just know that if you had known earlier what to do or had that right direction or, you know, guidance, then maybe you would have made different choices. But here's the other side of the story. Your path was your path that you had to go through.
Exactly.
The beauty in it is that God kept you to get to this point. Sometimes He lets us go through these things so we could come out on the other side refined.
That's right.
He let you go through that fire.
That's right.
So you could come out pure as gold.
Exactly.
And that's where you are now. That's where you are now. You're that pure gold. You're starting to be able to now, you know, pure. When gold is put through the most extreme levels of heat, it becomes more refined. And then when it's at its best, it is its best.
That's right. And that's not just me or you, but that's all humans. Like we all have this ability to become self-aware and self-correcting.
Yeah.
And become the better versions of ourselves.
Better versions of ourselves. Okay. Yes, I will. So I'm gonna thank you for letting me know. But thank you. Can I ask you one more question?
Absolutely.
And then you could just say yes or no to it.
Absolutely.
But there was one more question. So when I was a kid in Oakland, and I'm gonna do this real quick, 1970, go to Oakland from San Diego to visit the family. East Oakland, 105th Avenue, Sabrani Park. My aunt took us to get these lunches during the summer when they first started doing that. When that first started happening, I was a recipient of that. Did Afeni Shakur start that breakfast program? Was she the one who started that with the Panthers, or was it somebody else, or was it collective? Do you know?
Yeah. The breakfast program, I remember very well.
But this was lunch. This was lunch they provided
I remember,
us that came from the
because
Black
they
Panthers.
used to do the same thing in New York too. But the breakfast program was a collective endeavor, right? So, but Fanny, because she was in the leadership, she's the one that I remember used to facilitate the program. Also because the church that we used to have the breakfast, where the breakfast program was held, was maybe about 600 feet from where we lived at. It was across the street and like right there. Yeah. And Fanny lived with us. So I know it was her that went to that church and asked if we can use that.
Wow.
That use their church to host the breakfast program. I know it was her that did it, but citywide, the breakfast program was a collective endeavor by the Black Panther Party.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Bill, it has been an absolute pleasure seeing you.
You got all those questions in there?
This is just my whole format. I didn't do all of them. I did some of them.
Okay.
But I went off the script too a little bit. But I will say that I just wanted to be over-prepared because Cynthia McKinney taught us that it's better to be over-prepared than under-prepared.
Where is she at now? Have you heard from her?
The last I knew, I think she was overseas. I know she had gotten her PhD at Stanford, I believe, California. And then I think she might have been teaching around the world. She was on Facebook. I was on Facebook with her, but then I haven't been using Facebook for several years, so I'm not sure where she is. People ask me that all the time, though. I need to find out. I love Cynthia. But so thank you for sharing your story.
You're welcome, right?
Thank you for stopping by. Your honesty, your dignity, and thank everyone out there in Twitch world for joining. I know Moo, your sister, is watching. My son Peter's watching.
Right on, y'all.
Some friends, chat. Thank you guys for being part of this. Everyone who joined us live and respected the purpose of this conversation. So one of the things that I want to kind of title this, not that this was focused on Tupac, but it's sort of like two paths, one family. Your path, Pac's path, but one family, right?
Exactly.
And you and your cousin and where you are today in your life, but also you and your mom and your sisters and your brothers, you know, just being who you are individually in this world, how you've shown up. You guys are great people to me.
Thank you.
I told Peter before you came, and I'm trying not to shed tears here, the feeling that came over me right before you pulled up was one where I felt like greatness was getting ready to walk into my house.
Thank you.
That's how I felt. So no matter what you went through in your life, who you are as a man in this world that God made you for, the purpose that you're serving in this world, the people that you're helping, the people that you love, that's just in your circle. You've always made me feel special. Moo always makes me feel special. Your mom, everybody that I met in your family, you guys are so full of love.
Thank you.
And it resonates so deep. And you've been so nice and respectful and pleasant to talk to every single experience I've had talking to you, Bill. You're a great guy.
Thank you, man.
And you're a wonderful man. And regardless to what you've been through in your life, I love you.
Thank you. I love you too.
Peter loves you. We love y'all. And we thank you all for making us a part of your extended family.
You're absolutely welcome. God bless Peter. God bless you. And, you know, we can say the same for you and Peter. You know, both of you guys always been loving and accepting. And, you know, you guys been a big part of what we started at the center. And, you know, that's why we're still connected. You know, it's like a lifelong connection that was created way back then. And here we are today. So God bless you. You know?
God bless you too, and you're going to do great things. I want to know about what's going on with you. You want to talk about your book again before you go? Like the name of the book that, and your, if you want to talk about any projects.
I definitely want to talk about it. So the name of my book, once again, is Scumbag, Memoirs of a Lawless Prick. It's basically short stories about, you know, my journey, right? It's not going to be an autobiography, but it's going to be just short stories about my journey. Also, I'm working on several projects that I am in pre-production for and developing. One is going to be a docuseries that I'm working with Alex Stapleton on. Alex Stapleton is the director and executive producer of The Reckoning, Sean Combs' story. And I'm also working on a podcast to cover Keefe D's trial. It's going to be called All Eyes on Keefe D for the murder of Tupac Shakur. And that podcast is also going to be interchangeable with, that title is going to be interchangeable with other trials, upcoming trials of hip hoppers like Lil Durk and Big U. You know, so we're going to cover all those trials. So I'm currently developing those projects. Also, I have 2 biopics that I wrote about my cousin and my family and myself years ago. I wrote these biopics in 2007, I think, and it's finally starting to see some momentum. So I'm working on that as well. And also I'm working on a comedy.
Wow.
It's a meta narrative. It's a story about my story, my experiences of doing these biopics that I just talked about. And I turned that story into a comedy because it was a lot of pain. That process of doing my cousin's biopic came with a lot of pain, you know. But I wanted to turn my pain into joy for other people. So I took that story and transformed it into a comedy. It's called Chasing Tupac. Wow. So be aware, and all these projects are forthcoming, and I can't wait to see you guys when they're done.
Do you know when your book will be out?
It probably won't be out till next year. I already started writing it, but I have a lot of writing to do. Okay. Because I've been writing scripts as well. Yeah. And then I'm doing academic papers at the same time. Yeah. So
because you're studying.
Yeah, you know, so it's a process, but most of the stuff that I just mentioned, the scripted stuff, is done. Those are done.
I can't wait to see.
The book is the only thing that I have to finish.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait to see what you have coming out. It's exciting. Thank you so much. Thank you, chat.
Thank you, guys. God
for
bless
joining us. And this will also be on YouTube eventually, probably in parts.
Okay, cool. Let me know.
Once I'm done editing and everything, I will definitely share it with you. But you all have a blessed day. And again, William Billy LeSane, and you've seen him in The Art of the Dialogue.
Art of Dialogue, Dear Mama, Death Row Chronicles, and The Reckoning, Sean Combs' story. And I want to shout out Art of Dialogue. I want to shout out my man Art, and I want to shout out my man Del Rey, because they were very open to me telling my story on the platforms. And I want to thank you guys. I want to shout out my family. I want to shout out my wife.
Yes.
I want to shout out the team that I'm working with now. And I want to shout all you guys out, man. You guys keep being the best version of yourselves. Don't be afraid to seek help, man. If you're dealing with mental illness or trauma, you know, it's cool to seek help now. It's the in thing to do, to deal with and address with any issues that you're dealing with. There's people that you can talk to. Don't be afraid to talk to people, man. Please, you know, get help if you need it. And help can come just from talking to someone that you love or someone that loves you.
Well, listen, this was great. This was great. So I'm going to go on and stop this stream. And you all have a blessed day. And look for this on YouTube. Two Paths, One Family.